Welcome back. Now we're going to be talking humanitarian things along those lines. And last Wednesday was World Humanitarian Day, and I have here with me from the Nigerian Red Cross, Dari Akinfoshile. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
What is World Humanitarian Day about? What are we supposed to be celebrating on a day like that?
Okay, the World Humanitarian Day, it's a day where we celebrate humanitarians, a day where we celebrate special people who put others before themselves, people who go all out to ensure human suffering is alleviated. It's actually adopted, 19th of August was actually adopted by the United Nations General Assembly to coincide with the anniversary of the 2003 UN bombing in Baghdad, Iraq. In 2003, about 22 humanitarians were killed in the bombing of the UN building in Baghdad. And then the United Nations had to adopt that day to coincide with the anniversary, 19th of August.
So how does the day get celebrated? What exactly happens? Like in Nigeria, for example, what happened on that day?
Well, it's a global thing. Everyone is open to everyone. You are expected to maybe recognize someone, tweet about it, share something about someone. You remember when we were fighting Ebola in Nigeria, our own Dr. Stella Adadevo, you mentioned people like that, you remember them, and a lot of more people. Even if you don't know them by name, just say it. And in the Red Cross, we have different programs. Different organizations do have different programs. All you need to do is just celebrate humanitarians. A lot of people have died while trying to help others. It's a day to remember people like that.
Let's talk about you now. I mean, you are a member of Nigerian Red Cross. Okay. What was the motivation for you to be a part of it?
Well, back then when I was in GSS1, I can't really remember what was, but the Red Cross uniform was quite beautiful. Maybe that was one. We were forced into going into classes, but that was a good day for me because since that time, I've been able to appreciate the existence of humans. People suffer every day, and we need people to actually assist. Basically, in the Red Cross, it's what people seems to know about us more for is the first aid aspect of it, but it's actually far more than that. It's humanitarian. The concept of humanitarian is quite wide. So my motivation was, like I said, as a young person then, could be the uniform, could be whatever you want to mention, but now it's the fulfillment in helping others.
What did you study, sorry? What are you doing for the Red Cross? Are you a medical doctor or you're just a volunteer? What exactly do you do?
I'm far from being being a medical doctor. I studied mechanical engineering.
Okay.
But because of the interest right from a very young age, I actually went into first aid, health and safety. As a professional, I'm a health and safety professional. But in the Red Cross, I occupy various positions in the volunteer role as a as a training advisor in my own division, mainland division. I'm also a member of the Disaster Preparedness and Response Committee in the Lagos State branch.
So, I mean, the Red Cross has been in Nigeria for quite a while now. I know in the last couple of years, they've had their hands quite full, if I may use those words, especially in the northeastern part with terrorism and all of that that's been going on there. The humanitarian crisis is beyond anything we've imagined, at least it's the civil war, you know, with internally displaced persons and all of that. What sort of role do you play in that crisis area?
Like I did mention earlier, the humanitarian scope is quite wide. Whether it's terrorism, earthquake somewhere in Asia, Nepal, tsunami in Japan, terrorism in Nigeria, in Iraq, civil war in Syria, the Red Cross is playing a role every day. People are displaced from their homes. Where do they go to? The Red Cross can help to facilitate temporary shelter in the refugee camps. There's outbreak of Ebola, who contain that. The Red Cross is involved. There's drought and famine in Sahel, northern part of Africa. The Red Cross is involved, working with, of course, other humanitarian organizations. So the Red Cross is quite involved in a whole lot of programs. If I may break them down, we are into community-based first aid and health. That is one aspect. Water, sanitation and hygiene, prison services, sanitation. Just think of it. Anywhere we have humans, anywhere where humans need help, Red Cross is there.
So, like with the Northeast specifically now, what do you do with internally displaced persons there? Is the Red Cross, do you provide shelter? Are you there on site, at the places, or you just supply?
Okay. In Nigeria, the National Emergency Management Agency is the lead agency in terms of humanitarian works or emergency response. But Red Cross also is an independent organization, and then NEMA coordinates activities of NGOs, humanitarian organizations in Nigeria. So they can actually tell you, okay, we want you to do this, we want you to do that. Well, Red Cross is also in the front burner of a lot of humanitarian activities. So we can help to coordinate materials, relief materials. You help to provide shelter. You bring in teachers to teach children in the camps. Of course, they don't have to go to regular schools, but they have to continue their education. And so these are some of the things we do in the Nigerian Red Cross Society, quite a lot.